Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going through the Fremantle Dockers 2025 AFL Fantasy Preview, going through who are the primos that I like, the mid-pricers and the rookies, as I did draft a couple of good rookies in my opinion. And yeah, this is probably the 20th, 21st that this is getting released, sometime around there. I think these start released on the 15th, so this is the 6th day, so what's that, the 20th that this is released on? Something like that. But anyway, let's just jump into this this preview, I guess. So, there we go, that sets that up. I can go over here now. Luke Ryan, 102.1, 23 games last year, 20 kicks, 4 handballs, 8.6 marks, 2 tackles, 149 kick-ins. Kick-ins are staying pretty constant between 120 and 150 for the last 4 years. His kicks have gone pretty much from 17.5 to 20. His handballs have stayed the same. His marks have gone up 1 mark a game, and then his tackles are pretty much the same. So it's just basically his improvement from 87 to 102 over the last 4 years has basically been from about 1.5 marks a game, which is 4.5 points, and about 3 kicks, which is another 9. So that's about 13.5 to 14 points per game, which pretty much lines up with the 14.7 points per game increase that he's seen over that time period. So I think he is an absolute fantasy dream. Went off halfback, and you can see how I was still recording the Essendon one about probably half an hour ago now. No, almost an hour ago now. But yes, he is pretty much a fantasy dream at halfback when he actually wants to play halfback. But the interesting thing is, Fremantle had a slow game, and with the introduction of Shea Bolton, do they increase that game style? They sort of increase the pace of it. And it was actually kind of funny because if you look at his stats, and I'm not going to split them up for you, but if you look at the last 11 games, he averaged 90.6. After the first 12, he averaged 112.7. You'll see a similar stat line with Jordan Clarke, which I'll split up because I don't have the exact stats for. But yeah, Luke Ryan, 102.1, priced at 1.046 million. It's going to be tough he's a tough one to judge whether he's going to average that 90 or that 112. Like, what is he going to average? And that's something that we've got to watch in preseason, what's going to happen with the Fremantle Dockers, because when he scores really well, when he scores above, so when he takes sort of above that 8-9 marks, say we just split this up in terms of him taking 8 plus marks, if we split that up, you will see in 2024, when he took 8 plus marks, he averaged 122. Let's split that down to 7, or bring it down to 7, and you will see that average drops to a 114. So basically what we're saying here, and actually that's actually 115. What we're saying here is he just needs to get 7 marks. If you include 6 marks, he starts to get some shockers in there, and he's at 108. Which is still above his average. 106.6 for 6 marks. So his real bad games come when he just doesn't mark the footy, and you can see that throughout. But when he does just rack up the marks, he pretty much gets a really good score. Like, all of his lower scores are with 6 or 7 marks effectively, or less. But yeah, an average of 117.1, I believe, with 7 plus marks in games this year, in last year, 2024. So yeah, just absolute outstanding from Luke Ryan. Then we move on to his partner in crime in Jordan Clarke, who he moved over from Geelong a couple of years ago. I think one of these, it does say in my stats, and he moved over in 2020 after 2021. And he started to play quite a lot, 24, 23, 23 games, and he took a real leap last year, going from 76 to a 96. But if we look at his first is it 12 or 11 games, you'll see a distinct fall, I believe. It was 12. So that he averaged 101 through the first 12 games. And then he actually didn't drop off as directly as the likes of a Luke Ryan. And that was more so because I believe he was more that attacking halfback, so they didn't actually need to drop off a lot of his marks. But then again, if you just look at his sort of marking capabilities, let's go 6+ marks for him. And you'll see, if I want to just quickly go through here, 6+ marks for Jordan Clarke, and he averages 105. Can he get 6+ marks next year? If we upgrade that to needing 7 marks next year, that gets him up to a 107 in 15 games. So his real kicker is, can he get to, and I'll downgrade this just slightly to now 5 marks to showcase this. If he can get to 5 marks per game, he's priced at 96. Where is his bad games was 2 and 3 marks when he played Sydney. And he played Sydney again for a 6 mark and 87. So, yeah, if he goes down to anything above 4 or above marks, he genuinely does absolutely well. So I think that's basically for him is, can he get the marks? And that's a real big question. So I think Jordan Clarke is almost the one that I want to start over Luke Ryan, because Jordan Clarke is used more in the attacking build-up, whereas Luke Ryan was more so just hogging it and sort of just this slow build-up, whereas Jordan Clarke was genuinely moving it. And so I think he's the one that could be a lot more useful. And if I do just take out these 3 games, because that was kind of chaos, he still is averaging 96, and even in these games, he didn't take too many marks, whereas if you just remove these, he had an 11-mark game for a 93. I'm just sort of removing the massive games, the massive 10-marker games, and you can still see here 16 games for a 99.3. If we look at that, and we go here and go, Sheezer, Whitfield, Zorko, 4, 5, 6. If we go here and go, yeah, that's what we need, a 102, he's pretty much on that. And he's almost top 6, Jordan Clarke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would be 8th out of one when he's currently 10th. He'd be top 8 if he would just take anywhere between 4 to 10 marks. Anywhere between 4 to 9 marks, and he's top 10. So I think Jordan Clarke's the interesting one that I think will hold value. And I think he's probably the Freo defender that I want to start. Now, I can basically skip through the other defenders because they're not going to matter. Heath Chapman, no. Aish, no. Wagner, no. Brandon Walker, no. Cox, no. No, none of these guys, to be honest with you, simply put. Hugh Davies, no. Ollie Murphy, no. He hasn't debuted yet, still a key. Then we get down to the midfielders here in Brayshaw, Serong, etc. We'll spend some time on them. Brayshaw, 104.6, has had a 113 in the past, which was an absolute monster year from him. Andrew Brayshaw here. We'll just look at this quickly. You'll see, and Andrew Brayshaw in 2022, from 24 games, he averaged a 113. What's really dropped off is just basically 1 tackle and a little bit from the marking, it looks like. He hasn't really dropped much off, maybe a little bit from the, it really is surprising how he's, that really isn't much any different to what he put out in the 113.3 and a 112.4 in the regular season. So what's really dropped off? 1.3 here, but he gained it back with a 1 point. The kicks to handball, that's another point there. Okay, so he's gained a point. So 4.4, 5.4, that's getting close. That's at 110. So I'm still 2.4 points off, that's 1.2. So I'm still 1.2 points off. That's probably in the goals per game. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. So he's very minuscule, the change for Brayshaw in the last couple of years, just looking at it. And if you actually look at the CBAs are fine. It's 76, 79, 70 the last 3 years. He's a consistent scorer around that 105 to 110 marker the last 4 years, because it really drops off up in his 2020 year, which was COVID related. So that was actually the 2020 season, that 76.5 is actually probably close to about the 105. So he's really had 5 years at the top of the game, has Andrew Brayshaw. And then we get to, where is it? So you get that from Brayshaw. Serong as well, another guy that I think could be pushing around that starter squad, because remember, these guys don't have the early bye. I forgot to show you, but they don't have the early bye. What bye do they have? They've got the round 13. That sounds like a decent bye because I'm pretty sure round 12, 13, 14, 15 are all the byes. I don't think there's 16 that has byes. I think round 12, 13, 14, 15 have byes. 12, 13, 14, 15. Nope, 16 does. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 have byes. So there's that. So Freo have round 13. That's not the worst bye. Not the. It's an interesting one to have because if you was like round 16, you just hold him throughout. Whereas round 13, you're almost like, do you want to trade? Do you want to nod? Etc. Etc. So Caleb Serong averaged 108 last year. 2 years ago, and 103 last year. If you actually look at what happened at the back half of last year, you'll see in the back half of last year, basically post-bye, he averaged 94.5, whereas pre-bye, he was absolutely on fire pre-bye, and he was up there in the top echelons of the comp. I know he's still up there in terms of the top sort of 20, but he was 112.5, and he was almost the clubhouse leader for the midfielders, near enough the bye. And then he just fell away. He had a couple of he couldn't just get past the 100 marker other than this 123 that he had. He started to go more forward, which was an interesting thing to see. Averaged 0.5 goals a game, and pretty much all of those goals came in the back half of the year. So if you think about that, he was pretty much averaging a goal a game, and he could have even got more in this last game where he had 3 behinds. I think he's shown his forward craft, so he might be the one that sort of drops out a little bit for Murphy Reid when Murphy Reid comes in, their recent draftee. Could he get back to his best though? So I think I'm going to be choosing one of Brayshaw and Serong, and maybe even Clarke as well. And you sort of see how this trend goes, that you sort of have one centre to halfback, one centre to midfielder, one Fremantle halfback, one Fremantle midfielder. The Dogs as well, you'll see something similar as well. Carlton as well, you'll see something similar there as well. These are the big teams that have the big players, the primos that can probably hold their price, that are non-early buy teams, which is why I think Caleb Serong and Andy Brayshaw, even with the introduction of Murphy Reid, are an interesting case to sort of understand. And I forgot to mention, but yeah, Andrew Brayshaw, 104.6 he is priced at, which is 1.072 million, and then Caleb Serong just trails him slightly, 104, priced at 1.066 million. Then we get to Murphy Reid, and Murphy Reid's a guy, I got to go to Coates Talent League, here we go, and go to Reid here, Murphy Reid, 88.2, do I have that right? 12, 13, yep, 12, 13 point, yep, that's all right. There we go, let's go to this here, just show you. He's done really well. Take out that 22 as well, and that really does actually go up a lot, because that 22 I don't think was right. Let's just see this. So he had 9 games times 88.2 is 794 minus 22 equals 772. Divide that by 8, and he goes up to a 96.5 if you remove one game. 96.5. And then if you go to Coates 2023, you'll see he averaged near enough the same as well. So Reid, 86 that year. Murphy Reid, he actually outscored Harley in Harley's senior year. And yeah, you just see again, massive, has 120 scoring potential. I don't know, I don't think he'll play completely on ball at senior level. I think he plays like 30% on ball or whatever. But I still think he can go 60-65. 60-65 is still plus 30, and that's one of the better rookies. So yeah, I think that's what, as I said in my notes here, consistent scorer over 2 seasons at Coates level, comes into a Fremantle side that's stacked for midfield talent. We know that in Brayshaw, we know that in, let's just show you here, Brayshaw, Serong, Hayden Young, that's 3, Jeremy Sharp's a winger, so not really on ball, O'Meara, no, Johnson, that's the 4th guy, Fife, that's 5 in the middle, so you got 5 in the middle plus O'Driscoll and Sharp on the wings. Plus, I mean, Will Brody's just sitting around there, but he's not going to play. And then you've got Murphy Reid. So Murphy Reid's probably the 6th on-baller. They might move Matt Fife more up forward or try Caleb Serong more up forward to give Murphy Reid some time in the midfield, but he might have a couple games at the seconds at waffle level before he gets his start. But we'll see. I think he's a guy that I'm just intrigued to see how he goes at AFL level, given he's got some good pedigree at juniors. Then the ruck, Luke Jackson actually outscored Sean Darcy. Sean Darcy, he's fit at the moment, but we know, as I posted in, I think, a live channel from the Centre Bounce last night or whatever, it would have been like 10 days ago for those people watching now, watching this on the first day it's out on like the 20th, that Sean Darcy will probably be managed by round 2 given his injury history because he has a horrific run of injuries. So there's that. And so that's why he's not valuable. And we go down even further. Liam Reedy, no. Jones and Riddle, no. Luke Jackson, no. Josh Tracy, no. Shea Bolton, I did talk about him slightly in here. 73.5, priced at 753k. I just don't see him getting the midfield time that he needs, really, to score really well. I mean, he's going to be in a better side, which should help him out. But it's probably going to be less CBA time, I would suggest, given that we already know that they have to fit in Murphy Reid and also fit in the likes of Shea Bolton into that midfield rotation. So what are they going to do? And they also want to see Matthew Johnson break out. So this Fremantle rotation, like we said last year, is going to be an interesting one to watch. Are they finally just going to play in that 5 out of the centre square and just say, you might just play forward stoppages on ball, but outside of that, you're just playing as a forward, even though he can't kick straight? Does Shea Bolton just become an out-and-out small forward? Does he lose that sort of point of difference that he can create out of the middle? I don't know what he does, but I don't think I'll be starting with Shea Bolton just because of all the other options that have popped up in recent time in the forward line, including that of Neil Erasmus. 42.4 average that he's going to be priced at, given that he played 4 games last year at 25.8, but we take it back to his 2023 average of 51.7. Let me just show you basically this in a nutshell here. Neil Erasmus, and I'm pretty sure I'm around about the 17 minutes, so I'm a good timing at the moment for this video. Neil Erasmus, you can see here, take away the subs and he's averaging 36. His waffle for the year, 17 games, 105.7, 12.6 kicks, 15.7 handballs, 4.8 marks, 5.8 tackles. And yeah, so he's taken a 18% discount on the 51.7, which gets him down at 42.4, which is priced at 435k. That could be an interesting one if he gets starts, given how absolutely monster he has gone at VF waffle level. So let's just see. And yeah, it's rumours that, and I was talking to Fremantle fans, and Fremantle fans, please put your best 23 down in the comments below. It is something that I want to know because, as you tell by me just reading out this midfield, I'm a little bit confused. So I'm just throwing up the options I see best fit, but there's so many options. Erasmus, 42.4, 435k. And yeah, could he finally break through as a forward price at 42? We've seen this countless times for midfielders breaking through as forward line. They snatch forward line positioning, and then they just break through as a midfielder, and then they lose it the next year. Could that be Erasmus this year? He's absolutely on fire in the waffle in 2024 and waffle in 2022 as well. I didn't include his 2023 waffle stats, but his 2022 waffle stats, 95.9 average from 15 games, 12.4 kicks, 10.5 handballs, 4.7 marks, 5.4 tackles. If you look at that compared to his 2024 numbers, he's basically gained 10 points exclusively from handballs. And I had him down as VFL, but that's waffle. That's my mistake. His waffle form in 2024, 900s out of 17 games, 5 130 plus scores and 2 140 plus scores. That is crazy. I actually kind of want to bring it up. To be honest with you, I kind of want to show you just what I was doing my research on as I have a little bit of time. So, state leagues, let's go to the waffle. Let's just show Erasmus. He's probably going to be the top scorer, I would hazard a guess. Erasmus here. It's this one here. Look at this. Starts the season 1, 2, 3, 142, 145, 111, 75, 83, 91, 130. Has a 0 included in there. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No way. Wait a minute. 17 times 105.7 equals 1796.9. So 1797. 97. Divide that by 16. He was actually, when you consider that they have a 0 in here that he really actually didn't play, I can tell you that. Round 15, did he play, where did he, let's just go here to Neil Erasmus, open up his player log, because I'd hazard a guess, nope, just didn't play, got a late snuff. So that's a weird one, or just injured enough that we can take it out. But if you remove that, he goes up to a 112.3. So let me just type that. Remove 0 from Waffle 2024 numbers, and average rises to, what did we say? 112.3. That's crazy. He averaged 112.3, priced at 42.4. Could he average 80 or 90 if he gets a slot? We'll just have to see if he actually gets time on ball, simply put, because in 2023, if we look at that, if we look at 2023, his numbers, and we actually look at his numbers when he played, look at this. When he wasn't actually a sub, that's what he put up. Let's actually just quickly double check. Yep. He put up 74.5 in 6 games when he wasn't sub. So he's got pedigree, and he's only just gotten better. So that's why I'm saying he could go absolutely nuts at AFL level this year, and I think it could be a breakout year. That's why he's on the monitor. So that pretty much is the video, 22 minutes. That's a good timing for this video of the Fremantle Dockers 2025 pre-season sort of preview, I guess, or the 2025 fantasy preview for them. If you did enjoy the video on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And if you're listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating, and then I will see you guys in the next preview, which will be the Geelong Cats tomorrow at 12 p.m. for you guys. So I'll see you guys in that one. Bye, guys.